Hello.
Happy to serve you. Coming right up. Enjoy yourself.
I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for? Now, what in the heavens would make you claim behind something as ludicrous as that. Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us. You know, you're far more clever than I expected. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau City, New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I, figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian, learning to synthesize it, use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing. You couldn't be more right. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once: halting the spread of the city's Terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential. These were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The Freestar Collective had spies everywhere. I was concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of Terramorphs. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the city to prevent mass death? It was the only option that made sense at the time. Simple to say now, but with the outbreak raging from a barely understood source, the moment demanded quick action. So I did what was required. I removed the dangerous variable from an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You. Can't remember the many lives you've taken. Or Blaze was the man whose death you brought about around the moon of Etheria, the pilot of the Warlock. The man I had to eliminate, to hide my secret. It wasn't easy. But the beauty of being loathed is that people will do whatever they can not to deal with you. They wanted to pretend I didn't exist. And so I used their blind eye to my advantage. Still, establishing a back channel to Orlays via the UC recovery teams was painstaking work. I've led campaigns less nerve-wracking. They believed they were luring in wanted criminals, but were in fact delivering precisely encoded slates, filled with instructions invisible to any but their recipient. Dropped off at just the right moments to fall into the proper hands. All without the UC realizing whom you were actually dealing with. Slow work. But as you can see, ultimately effective. Why would I want to be in the good graces of the people who control my very life? I don't know, Captain. Maybe I still dream of a life outside these walls someday. A new face would be needed, of course, but it wasn't an impossibility. Though now, I'm not so sure. Captain, please. You've benefited here as much as I have. Maybe more. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday. I'm simply looking for you to acknowledge the and let's not forget the importance of eliminating the terramorphs, securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the Cabinet. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the Cabinet. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This need Well, I do hope you...
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the acyles are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the Cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Any leads on who might have committed the... to it. So,
Orlays? Reginald Orlays? He did this? I didn't... Oh yeah. Both worked for UC Defense Research way back when. Different departments, but everyone knew Orlays. Had a mean eye for weapons tech. And a meaner temper. Wasn't exactly a surprise when he fled instead of standing trial after the Colony War. But finding out he's taken up mass murder in the years since, that is a shock. You're sure?
that's some impressive work. So then give us the rundown. Where's Orlays now? Were you able to bring... I'm sorry to hear that. Those sort... Any idea why he might have done it? Or what he was doing with the plan? Another madman well, at least he won't be able to hurt anybody else now. Might be. So I guess there's nothing else to do but get this all in front of the cabinet. Unless there were other things we needed to do. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs.
Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant. And then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. So, and here we go.
Welcome back, all of you. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems that is what I'm reading here. This report comes from a particularly confidential source both you and I are familiar with. Now, is it true? Was the attack on New Atlantis planned?
My God.
An attack? Using terrormorphs?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlays commit these?
You want me to... well, we believe that report to be correct, ma'am.
Reginald Orlays? Wasn't there a report he'd been killed recently?
Body was found floating around Etheria. Report from the Vanguard head in the area said you were trying to track him down, Captain.
Was this your work, Captain? Did you have any suspicions at the time Orlays... Well, this report contains definitive evidence Orlays triggered the attacks via this Lazarus plant.
Simply.
Indeed. Though it would have been preferable that Orlays be brought into face just... You are to be commended for stopping him before he could strike again, Captain. You have our thanks. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matter. With the threads you've brought together here, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to...
A sound decision, Madam President.
I'm glad you... So then, the cabinet has agreed. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps. The technology, using it to wipe out the terramorphs would be the quickest.
And fast results always lead.
As you can see, there remains... Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see.
Glad to see someone's not afraid of a little. The science division is in full agreement.
And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find...
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terra, as befits such a group. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our...
Class 1? For the 3 of us?
What he means to say is...
Oh, yeah.
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse. You all have earned. Now, Major Sinan, Dr. Walker.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, as a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you speak to your commander. Tuala, he should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, this meeting is adjourned.